The final section of this Chapter 9 unit is 9-10, using the percent change. Using the percent change. Now, the percent of change is the blank of the amount of blank to the blank amount. What that's saying here is the percent of change is from the first unit that we did in this section, which is ratios. It is the ratio. I'm going to block out the answer. The ratio of the new amount to the original amount. Percent change is the ratio of the new amount to the original amount. Since this whole unit has been about proportions and percents. Yes, ma'am? Yeah, it's just a typo. Or it just didn't really flow right. Yes? Fantastic. So copy downward. I'll even deliver it for you. Is it graded?
Yeah.
Good. Oh, darn. Okay. So if it was graded, it wouldn't be late. So see, there. Now, when the amount increases, for example, like in your book on page 472, the percent of change is a percent of increase. It is a percent of increase. That class is really excited next door about that percentage increase. Now, however, when an amount decreases, the change or the percent of change is negative. That's a huge point for this one. So whenever it decreases, it's negative. As the amount decreases, the percent of change is negative. You can state negative percent of a change as a percent of, what do you think it's going to be? Nope. What did we write a little bit above it, boss? Yeah, percent of decrease. That doesn't seem right. Yeah. Now, did anybody wonder about that P equals BR the other day? Yeah. You were wondering about that one on the homework? Okay. Now, for those of you that got stuck by that, make sure that you have your notes next to your homework when you're doing it. Okay? Make sure you have your notes next to your homework, because you should have been like, oh, that's not even anywhere in my notes, so that means I must be able to do this without that. Okay? Today, however, it's going to be a little bit different. You will be using similar to it. It's change. Let's see, make it a little bit prettier. Change over base. Right where I'm writing it. Equals rate. And our magical highlights. That's a major point for today. Change over the base is the rate. I'm highlighting that, so when I'm studying tonight and tomorrow night, I will know where to look. Change is over base, and that is the rate. So it's however much it's changing. Base rate. Then also, to keep in mind, you don't have to put as much highlight and attention to this one, but the base is original or old price? On the homework, you'll see the word old for the old price. Let's do these examples. Find the percent of change from 120 to 135. So it's from this, which means that's going to be the base, to 135, that's going to be the new. So the amount of change goes from 120 to 135. Now I'm going to give you, for those of you that struggle with your integers, and many of you do, it's a tough concept. It doesn't mean that you aren't good at math. It just means that it's a tough concept and you struggle with it, like many of your peers do. But I'll give you a little bit of help with that with integers in a little bit. But for right now, we did the new price minus the old price, and we got $15 amount of change. It went up, so it's going to be positive. So it increased, so it's positive. Now, we formed a ratio that stayed the sentences above. Now, we have this highlighted here. 15, I do want you to write this. 15 is the change, and 120 is the base. 120 is the base there. It is. Actually, this whole section is all about the base, because without that base, we would not be doing this correct. We'd have we would have trouble. Okay, I'm erasing that just because I want it out of the way. Now, this here, don't write this what I'm about to write. What is that as a decimal? 0.5. It's 0.5. And you know why that is? Because 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. Now we need to find what 15 over 120 is. And the way that we do that is I'm going to do 120 or 15 divided by 120. Just like that. 15 divided by 120. I'm going to get a number that's going to be less than 1. I would like you all to do this division right now on your desks, not on your desks, but on the paper, and I'm going to do it up here as well. Okay, that was pretty easy. You should be done with it by now. Now, I found that it's 125 thousandths. Okay? But here's the thing. We're going to find the percent of change. We're trying to find the percent of change, aren't we? So this number, 0.125, how are we going to make that into a percent, Max? Yes. We move the decimal to the right twice. We move it, boom, boom, like that, over to the right twice. So now we have 12.5% increase. And that's our answer. Why does increase look like it's spelled wrong? 12.5% increase. So essentially, guys, all we're doing today is doing one division problem for each of the questions. Okay? One division problem for each of the questions. Now, that was an increase. So let's do a decrease. Find the percent of decrease from a population of 257,000 to 243,000. So these are thousands. Thousands. Once again, this is my base, and this is my change. So I'm just going to do this division problem right now. Is that the same timing as well? That's funny. So remember, the little guy goes inside because we're not going to have a whole number. And the part that I'm going to do over here, that would be like something that you'd put on your scratch paper on the test on Friday. Okay? Think myself maybe 5. Ding, 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 ding. No. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Because we're dealing with percentages, so we know that the decimal is going to end up going over here. I wanted to do a couple more than I normally do. Remember, guys, when you're doing homework or whatever and we're doing division, if you guys get past that third decimal point, there's either one of two things that are happening. A, you won't find the end of it, or B, you did something wrong, so I want you to stop right there, okay? But I went to 4 because I'm using percentages. So scratch paper goes away. Ooh. So I came up with negative 14 divided by 257 is 0.0544. I'm going to move the decimal place over twice. And now I have negative 5.4. I'll just keep it. I guess I could do 4. 5.44. Is this percent or dogs or chicken coops? Yeah. Well, what's the question asking you? That's what you guys should do. Percent. It's a percent. And this is a percent decrease. Percent decrease. Yeah. If you put 5.4, 5.4, yeah, that's actually what I did earlier today, so you're cool. Looking at the old and the new, because here's the old. It went from a population of this to a population to that. Yeah. Yep. Yes. I would like you to put that's the best answer with the percentages, with the correct addition. And also, by writing decrease, you know that this, okay, I'm correct with that negative. Because negatives hurt so many of you on the last quiz and homework and tests and stuff like that, okay? I don't want to see it anymore. I don't like marking you half off for being negative. Now, speaking of negativity with integers, what I'd like you to do is, on the top of your page, this is what I wanted you to do, especially for those of you who struggle with integers. Always subtract bigger number. No, smaller number. Sorry. Do the same thing, 6th period. Smaller number. From bigger number. Decreases. Make, go negative. Well, make decrease negative. Always subtract the smaller from the bigger number. Make decreases negative. Okay? Make decreases negative. Now that's an integer concept. We've done that before, and that's just where when you're subtracting integers, you subtract the littler one from the bigger one and keep the bigger one's sign. And you guys have notes on that in your integer review, and it's on my YouTubes. Now, this is what I want you to do. I would like you, from numbers 3 through 8, you're going to take 1 minute, and all you're going to do is either write I for increase or D for decrease. For example, this one here, the old is 142. The new is smaller at 114. So I know that this is a decrease. So I wrote a D there. D for Dana. All right, so I want you to do that for numbers 4 through 8. I'm just going to give you a minute to do it. So you can tell it's going from...
If the new is less?
Yes. If the new is smaller, it's a decrease. Yep. Yep. Okay, maybe you guys all didn't need that much time. So, what do we have? Raven, what do you have for number 4? Is that increase or decrease? It's a decrease. Okay, yep, it goes down to 29. How about number 5? Boss. It does increase because it goes from 425 to 480, which is more. Sam, what do you have for the next one? I for what? What does I mean again? Increase. Good. Increases. Owen, what do you have for the next one? Increase for that one. Good. And how about this one, Johanna?
Decrease.
It decreases because it goes from 14 to 12.5. 14.5 to 12.5. Excuse me. All right, we're going to do the... That's a D. Wow. That's like the farthest away on the board that I stand. All right. What we're going to do is... Yeah, I'd better do that one. We're going to do number 3 all the way through, and then 4 through 8 we're just going to set up. Okay? We're just going to set that up, and then we're going to do number 9, and then you guys will have your homework, and you might have a minute to start. So, number 3, we're going to work it out. I have the old is 142, and because of what I wrote at the top of the page, which says always subtract smaller from the large, I'm going to go 142 minus 114, which simply is 28. So I have 28, but is this an increase or decrease? Decrease. So that means that I want this to be negative. So I'm going to have negative 28 over what? What is it? 142 exactly, because it says on the other side of your homework, that it says the old is the base, the original. Okay, and this is exactly like your homework. You have 13 of these or whatever it is. Then that's going to be my rate. So I'm just going to do this. I want you all to divide that number. Here's my negative. Please do that now. And this right here would be on my scratch piece of paper during the test if I had it. Okay, however far you are, hopefully you're about done. Maybe you had to do a couple more multiplication tests to see what goes where. Now, I have negative 0.195. Now, we need to make sure that we are following all the rules here. Round to the nearest whole percent. So when I get that, I have 0.195. Actually, it's going to be 6, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be 6, but the bottom line, that doesn't matter. Salud. So I go 19.5%, but what does that round to the nearest whole percent? Laney. 20%, or negative 20%. So that's going to be my answer. Negative 20% decrease. And that's what your homework's going to be like. Just like that. Yep, you have one division problem for each one. Yep, that's it. One division problem, you multiply it by 100 and you're good. Now for these next 4 through 8, all we're going to do is set it up. I expect you to be able to do the multiplication yourselves, or the division yourselves, okay? No, because this isn't long division right now. If I was testing on long division, if that's the focus of this lesson, yes, I would make you do it. But right now, I want to make sure that you can set it up. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to just show what it says for number 3 on my screen. Okay? So can someone tell me what I'm going to do here for number 4? Yeah, Dominique. Yep. 0.59 minus 0.3. I guess I'll do the whole thing. Minus 30. What am I going to get? 0.29. But it's a decrease, so I need it to be negative. So it's going to be negative 0.29 over what? Dominique.
59.
It's going to be, let me just get those out of the way. Negative 0.29 over 0.59. Yes, that is correct. Because you know that that's the old base. That's where it's going to go. And that equals R. Okay? Next one. JD, can you help me out with this one? What does it say at the top of your page? There we go. 480 minus 425. And we're going to get, 55. Well, I just thought of something. We needed to do... No, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Never mind. So 55, is it an increase or a decrease? Should that be negative? No, it's positive. It's positive, so I'm just going to do 55 over the base, which is going to be 425, and that's my rates, and then I would just do this division problem to get the answer. Okay? Number 6, Mr. Thornberry, can you help me out? $251 minus 228. I agree with you 100%. And that's going to be 13. No. 23. Now, is that going to be positive or negative, Abby? It's going to be positive because it's an increase. So I don't have to make it negative. Let me just block these off here. So my formula is going to be 23, not 22, Scott. 23 over base, which is the old 228, and that's the R. I'm going to do that division problem, and I'm going to come out with the answer. Ew. I want you to do 7 and 8. I'm going to give you just to do those simple problems. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. We'll see how you get from there. All you need to do is just set up your change over base equals the rate, because I know that you guys know how to divide. That you should have for number 7. 12. 6. Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah, I guess you're Smith.
I know.
You've been getting the hard ones and you're missing the easy ones.
It's because that's actually a good point. When you lose focus when you're doing your homework, that's why it's so important to have a quiet place, because I was just doing a problem thinking about you guys walking around. And well, you guys weren't walking, but that's same situation every time I mess these up in class, because I'm turning around, thinking about multiple things. So you got to focus. Good. Then this one, and I'm not excusing myself. Yeah, I should have got that one. You darn right. So I had the bigger one, 14.5 minus 12.5, and that's equal to. But it's a decrease, so I need to go negative. Negative 2 over the old one. 14.5 equals the rate. Does it have to be R? No, I'm just showing that's the rate. You're going to just have that, then you're going to do the division problem tonight. All right. Next. No, we only. That's a good question. I know that somebody's going to think of that same thing right now. What we did on number 3, which is all this, that's what you're going to be doing in the 13 times for the homework. Okay. All right, let's, what time is it? Good, we got a couple minutes. Now, we didn't even come close to this in the other classes, so good. Good job, guys. A tennis outfit is marked down 50%. It's marked down, come on. There we go. It's marked down 50%, and then reduced at the cash register for another 30%. Right? What is the total? Is this the total reduction of 80%? Why or why not? Why not, or why so, Sam?
It's not, because you're not taking 30% of the original price, you're taking 30% of what's already happened.
Good. And as Sam just said, you're not taking 30% of the original price, you're taking 30% from the new price. Okay, so to put it into our proportions that we've been doing this whole unit, the whole is changing. The lower left of our proportions for percentages, that little bit there is changing, so it's going to be a whole different problem. So what Sam said. There. So hopefully people are listening to this with audio, and yeah. So the answer is no. Okay. Now, if the outfit is now 80% off, how do we find the actual discount, or find the actual discount?
Well,
what am I going to do? So, oops, wow. Okay, let's see this. There. It's marked down 30%, so we mark it by 30? That's what you're saying?
No, it's that, so you're dividing it by, no, since it's being reduced by 50, that'd be half of it. So
Okay.
30% would be half, so you have to divide it 30%.
Okay, so you're saying the base we'll have as our variable. Base we would have as our variable, and our rate is going to be 80% or 50%, so 0.5. And then what is our difference? Right, if we're keeping the same one, we have change. Isn't our change going to be half? Yeah. 20% because it's a change, right? You know, I'm going to give you guys this one tomorrow. I'm going to give you this one tomorrow. I got to pass out your homework. I do have to.